the wink and the gun.
And we welcome you into the Rowdy Studios. I'm Bassmasters. That's Buzz Cutler talking Dover. Kurt Busch must be in Jimmie Johnson's head because he beat him on the last restart, and then, well, on the second to last restart,
and then Jimmie
held him off after that.
But obviously he's in Jimmie's head because Jimmie beat himself on the final restart. Jimmie made a mental error. It must be Kurt Busch all up in his head.
Kurt got going a little sooner than what Jimmie thought because he was driving away.
We beat Johnson out of the pits, had the inside lane on the final restart, and we just took it to him.
Let's talk about the win from a Kurt Busch perspective. Look, this guy is feisty. This guy's fiery. We all know it. You might not like it. I understand why you wouldn't. But this was a huge win for Kurt. He's never won at this track in a Cup car, and he needed the victory.
I didn't think it would take this long to get to victory lane, especially when I won my first ever truck race here. But this is a tough racetrack, and when you're racing the best of the best, you have to be perfect. You have to have a good team.
The other thing about it is frustration over the year, keeping up with a racetrack, making the right adjustments to the car and the right calls at the end, and that was perfect yesterday.
You know what I like about Kurt Busch's season and his wins this year is that both of his wins have been at tracks he has never won before. You know, Watkins Glen and not Watkins Glen, Sonoma, and now Dover. And was it just the last race or the race before last where Kurt Busch was up to his old tricks on the radio, comes back with a win? I don't think we can get too bogged down in the Kurt Busch tirade on the radio. Just like,
I agree.
Just like Tony Stewart gets surly with the media to sort of keep his juices flowing, that's how Kurt Busch keeps his juices flowing, and it doesn't mean the wheels are coming off the 22 team.
Well, I agree with you, and not only that, but I think that takes us to Jimmie Johnson, because a lot was made of Jimmie Johnson saying to Chad Knaus, you know, the cheerleading thing is kind of annoying. He said that at New Hampshire. Well, come on, that was so minor. I mean, honestly, and the big deal was made about it. Are these guys, is the relationship fraying?
Dude,
we knew it wasn't.
They've been together 10 years. Are there? How long have you been married? How long have you
20.
I've been married 12. Are there not things that your wife does that annoy the hell out of you?
No, nothing.
Nothing at all.
Not all. I mean, here's the thing. Their relationship was never at a problematic stage. I'm sure it was at a down stage a little bit. They were both frustrated. They were frustrated with how they ran at New Hampshire because it wasn't up to their usual standards. It wasn't as good as what they thought they had. Then they came to Dover. You could expect those guys would be on their game, and they were.
Wish that we could be one spot better, but I just didn't get two good restarts at the end of that thing and cost myself. So all in all, though, exactly what we needed. We needed to run in the top three here at one of our better racetracks, and mission accomplished.
They were, and there's two ways to look at it. Number one, Jimmie Johnson needed a good race here. He needed to avoid bad luck.
Well,
he was going to run well if he avoided bad luck. He did what he needed to do. But I will say this. This points race is so tight, and I think it's going to be tight all the way down to the end. I wonder if those 4 points, which he gave up by not winning that race, will be a factor. I just put it in the back of my head a little bit. I'm not saying it was anything disastrous or horrible. Jimmie's back in the mix, mission accomplished for the most part.
Look,
I still wonder if those 4 points could be valuable.
They could be. It could come down to 4 points. With this new point system, 4 points is the equivalent of,
15 to
20 under the old point system. So it's not impossible to think it's going to be a 4-point championship. And I don't think that Jimmie was ever down and out, and I don't think he's now back.
I told you, I wasn't going to worry about him until after Dover.
Here is the thing. On that second to last, on the final restart, Jimmie Johnson did make a mistake. Now, obviously it's a mistake anybody can make at any race, but Jimmie Johnson making mistakes in the chase is not something we generally expect or see.
Well, we've seen it before. He's had problems before, and this is why the first 2 races can't concern you. Obviously, it reduces the margin for error for Jimmie Johnson. He's back in the mix, and that's when the next 2 races, the 2 downforce races at Kansas and Charlotte, become very, very important to sorting this picture out. Because what happened yesterday with Kurt Busch winning and Jimmie finishing second, between 1st and 9th in the points now, 19 points from 1st to 9th. This thing is real tight and probably will be. I'm sure we'll see a couple more guys eliminated in the next 2 weeks, maybe.
But as of right now, 9 guys are still in it.
I think so. All right, for Buzz Cutler, I'm Bassmasters. That's our take on Jimmie v. Kurt at Dover. And we'll have a couple more thoughts on a couple more guys coming right up.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is. Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.